Travis, how you doing? Pleasure to meet you. How you doing, Sigrid? How's it going? Welcome to the beautiful, literally Merseyside. We're at Seacombe Ferry here. This is River Mersey, overlooking to Liverpool, and then we're going to go from here up to a gorgeous little town called New Brighton.
That's great. Yeah, we've been cycling around on the other side of the river, so I'm excited to get over here and look
I'm
around
excited to. Yeah. I'm excited to show you guys this gorgeous route. Eh? Sigrid's on an adventure.
Yeah. Oh, let's do it. I'm ready.
Go! It's a bit of an overcast day. It's not the glorious Merseyside sunshine we normally have. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we got a little bit of sun yesterday. It wasn't too bad. A little bit of rain too, but that's just, you know, how it goes when you're cycling, I guess.
Yeah, so I've got a condition called cerebral palsy, which basically affects my balance, my hand-eye coordination, I would say the little things people take for granted on a daily basis. Things like, you know, being able to put a pair of socks on, being able to dress yourself, sometimes to, you know, manage a hot cup of tea and balance it properly.
Yep.
It's the little things like that that I probably found a little bit more difficult than most people. As a consequence, you know, I'm a wheelchair user, so I've been using a wheelchair since I was 4 or 5, and yeah, and that's the way things are, and you just gotta find a way to roll with it, I guess. How you, mate? How you doing? You alright? Usain Bolt?
And so what is the charity you're involved with?
It's called Stick and Step. So basically that comes from the terminology of the way they would teach us to walk.
Yeah.
As kids would be stick and step. You'd move the stick, you'd step. And that's where it came from. And that came from being like 8 or 9. I'd go there once a week, originally on Saturday mornings, and then Wednesdays and Saturdays. And I went there from being 9 to being 18, and now 29, so I kind of feel like I'm in the wrong time out of the business. But these days I'm a trustee of a charity, and it's great to be able to have an experience to give back, really, and you know, give back also from my lived experience as a physically disabled person living with cerebral palsy who's kind of been through the process, basically.
Yeah. What kind of stuff do you do with the charity? Do you like volunteer with them, or you raise money with them, or?
These days I just kind of give my time as and when I can to support the charity as best I can, kind of alongside my day job as a journalist at the BBC.
I'm sure you're quite busy at the BBC, so.
I make great radio content for the BBC World Service and US Public Radio, but I also do bits and bobs of presenting and reporting for kind of lots of different outlets, basically, which, to be honest with you, growing up, there's the old phrase of if you can't see it, you can't be it. And growing up, there wasn't disabled people, visibly disabled people on screen. And to be visible in the media, and to be able to be given that chance to, you know, be able to hopefully inspire the next generation of disabled people by being on screen is, you know, really, really important. I do this cycle we're doing today on my days off because it's a glorious way of disconnecting along the coast, you know, of seeing the world, of just getting a bit of exercise in, just, being able to enjoy the best of what we've got in the world, which is kind of really important.
Look at this.
Life's about the adaptations you make sometimes, so if it doesn't work first, you know, put your thinking cap on and try again in a slightly different way, which is something that Stick and Step really has taught me to do over the years. You know, be able to, okay, I can't do a standard pair of shoes, so maybe the best pair of shoes I can do is just shoes with Velcro, and that worked really well. Or I can't button up a pair of pants, a pair of trousers as a, you know, non-disabled person would. Try trousers with elasticated bands, which seemingly more and more places have got these days. So, you know, it's kind of growing up as a disabled person, and the benefit, the power of community really through Stick and Step is something that was really important to me when I was growing up, because it gave me a really really powerful community with which to fall back on in terms of the skill set one needed to be able to have, you know, to be able to live one's best life, really.
How long have you been riding the hand cycle?
Gosh, I've been riding the hand. I'll confess to you, I never thought I'd be able to cycle. It was never something I thought I'd be able to do, Travis.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, hello, hiya, how you doing? You alright? How's it going? Just because of my lack of hand-eye coordination, really, if I'm honest with you, it wasn't something that I ever went, oh, this is going to be an option for me.
Yeah. Okay.
But I took it. I was on a cliff walk actually in County Wicklow with a friend of mine, and we're talking about this new greenway that had been put up at that time in Waterford. And I was like, I'd love to do that, but how do I do a greenway? Being a wheelchair user, it's 40 kilometres. My battery would run out.
Right.
I'd be stuck. I'd be absolutely stuck. So he said, have you thought about hand cycling? And I was like, no, what's that? I mean, I came back and then Googled around, and I realised the guys who'd made my wheelchairs for 15 years at that point over in Liverpool, called Da Vinci Mobility, also make hand cycles, and one of the best manufacturers of hand cycles in the UK. The guy who makes the hand cycles, the guy who's the brains behind the business, called Vince Ross, he thought this is going to be impossible for Ellis because of his lack of balance. It was a really nervous moment. Me, my dad and Vince, I'll never forget it, all having a sharp intake of breath, being like, this isn't going to be something Ellis is going to be able to do because it will just be too difficult given his lack of hand-eye coordination. And lo and behold, I took to it. I think it's the 12th of March 2020, I took the seat of the hand cycle, went out that night with my dad and fell in love with it, and fell in love with this gorgeous coastline we're cycling on today. That kind of became my shtick over the lockdown, would be get out, go for a cycle, and I think I've done probably about 20,000 kilometres in 3 years, basically. Cycling around, you know, from 0 to 20,000 kilometres is quite a bit. But, you know, I used to get the taxi in the morning and I'd see these people on bikes and be like, oh, I wish I could do that. You know, I wish I was able to commute into work. I wish I had that capability to be able to do that, and lo and behold, now I can do that if I choose.
It's a nice big beach up here, huh?
It's a gorgeous beach.
Yeah, Sigrid. What do you think? Well, we had a nice little ride up the path here. It's beautiful. Talked a lot about the charity work you're doing and you know, what you've gone through and how you've gotten to where you are now. You know,
there's a lot to be said for you getting involved and being a little bit more aware of, you know, the barriers people face, be that attitudes, be that infrastructure on a day-to-day basis, and being aware of that and using that as a way to, you know, just be aware and just be conscious that, you know, not everybody lives the life you're going through, be that mental health, be that physical health, be that physical conditions, whatever, and be aware of that and, you know, try to use that to be better people, really.
Yeah.
Or better cats.
That's excellent.
Sorry, better beings, Sigrid, better beings indeed.
Not dogs though, maybe, I don't know, she doesn't like dogs.
So we always thought when it came to setting up the charity 21 years ago, that the numbers of kids we'd see would get fewer. We never, unfortunately, that's never quite happened. And, you know, it's just as important today as it was when I was growing up. Because in terms of supporting charity, stick and step, people can just get involved, you know, donate their time, donate their money, whatever suits them, basically. Gorgeous bit of Merseyside as it was, you know, nice view of Liverpool Bay. Can't beat it when the sun's on your back. Although today it's a bit overcast.
What do you think of that? Well, it's mine. Don't actually lick it. It's mine.